Flosstube. I am Danielle and this is my channel Love and Stitchin', a channel all about cross stitch. Today is, oh goodness, Tuesday, July 26th, I think, 2022, and it is Flosstube number 27, the real 27. So last video I was confused on my numbers. Numbers are difficult. So welcome so much. Thank you for joining me today. I know I am a little bit late on when I thought I would get this video out. There were just some things going on last week where it just wasn't able to get a video going for last week or the week before, anything like that. It's just been some busy times, but I did want to get a video in before the end of July, especially because I know in August things are going to be hectic and it will probably be mid to late August before I can get another video in. So I am so thankful that you're here today, and I appreciated all of the comments on my last video for hearing about what you're doing in July, and some of you are stitching Christmas in July and a lot are not, so I think that's fantastic. Christmas in July is not for everyone, so it's fun to see all the different projects that everyone is working on, and I learned about a couple new projects, so definitely some enabling there, which I love, so I always appreciate that. So for the last couple weeks for my family, what has been going on, just a brief overview there. There's not been much in the way of newsworthy, just life, but we did get to celebrate 4th of July, well, Independence Day here in the United States. And for that, we had my family over. Unfortunately, my sister and her family were sick, so they were not able to come. But my parents and my grandmother were here, and we got to do fireworks with them, and the rain stopped right before we were able to eat dinner on the deck, so that was really nice. So it was just a great night, and then that was on the 3rd, actually. So then on the 4th, we live in a neighborhood, so I live in East Tennessee, and it's, you know, mountainous and hilly and beautiful, so we live in a neighborhood where there's lots of hills, and at the very top of one of the hills, you can kind of see this really great overview of several cities, and then our neighborhood as well, which is great. So we like to go up there around 9 o'clock when the fireworks get started and just kind of watch everything get started and going, and you can see fireworks off way in the distance. You can see ones from our town and then from our neighborhood, and it's just a lot of fun, especially for the kids, to just be like, oh, there's another firework, and they absolutely love it. So that was really great. And then the other thing that we did was we did go tent camping with a 5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old for the first time. My dear husband, last fall, I think, asked my dad, hey, do you have a tent that we could borrow? I thought it'd be fun to go tent camping with our son. And my dad, being the wonderful man that he is, said, you know, I don't have my tent anymore, but I'm sure we can figure something out. So Christmas morning, my husband gets a tent. Oh boy, so now we officially have to do this. So thankfully, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law are expert tent campers because I am a glamper, I guess. I've been in tent camping, but not since I was a kid. Normally it's in a travel trailer camper. And so I don't know a whole lot about tent camping, but they are experts. So they came and we were only 5 minutes from our house, which was good. So we've got a local state park that is right down the road. So we were able to go camp there, and it was hot because it's mid-July, and I don't think it really cooled down for us until 2 a.m. The kids were fine. They were exhausted from the fun. They slept. I sprayed them down with water, made sure that they were, you know, nice and cool, and I checked on them. And it wasn't awful. It's just for sleeping conditions. It was hot. And so my husband and I were awake until probably 2 a.m. at least, just not able to sleep. And then we also had loud neighbors. So that was fun. But overall, I mean, it was still a good experience. The kids had a great time. We were thankful that we had our family there to kind of help introduce us. I now have a long list of things that we will or would need if we were to do this on our own, because we just were not prepared. Thankfully, we were 5 minutes from home, so if we need anything, we could just run home and get it. It wasn't a big deal. But if we were to do this further away, we would definitely need more supplies. But it also worked out. The kids were just tired that we let them stay up, and so they went right to sleep. They didn't have any issues. So I think that also helped, just wearing them out. They got to go on the kayaks, and they got to swim in the water because there is one area that's just very, very shallow where they can go out there, and their dad was out there. I kind of hung out on the side. I didn't really want to get in the water, but their dad and their cousin was out there and got to swim and have a great time. So that was our tent camping experience. Other than that, it's been work, and the kids are finishing up their summer preschool program. It finishes this week, and then my daughter will continue in the fall because she's still that age. But my son, they're kicking him out. They're giving them the boot because he starts kindergarten. So he will actually be home with me the first couple weeks of August while she is still at the program before he starts kindergarten mid-August. So that's why it'll be a few weeks before a video gets out, because he'll be home with me, which I think that'll be some sweet time with him before he has to go off to kindergarten, and my little mama heart just breaks, isn't ready for it. But they grow up, and you know, that's a good thing. So I know he's going to do really well. I'm excited to see how everything goes and how he enjoys it and meets new friends and everything like that. It's a big deal, and he's very excited. He knows what's coming. We're going to go shopping probably this weekend for his supplies. We got his list, so he's excited. It's going to be great. All right, so let's get into some stitching. I don't have any fully finished objects. You know, I mentioned in my last video that my stitching mojo has not been as mojo as it normally is. And so my stitching time has been, you know, 30 minutes to an hour every night. And that's really been what I've had, which works out well because I'm stitching smalls, so I'm still able to get things finished. But as far as fully finishing, I've just not been in the mode. So I've just kind of, you know, when I'm ready, I will finish some of those things. So the last video, I did have 2 finishes that were pieces that were very close to being finished, and those were Patriotic pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and show those, and then I'll get into the Jolly July, which my Jolly July, I've been doing all ornaments because I have a ton of ornaments I want to do. I've got ones for my kids. I found one for my husband that I want to do and that I've started. I started that one last night. I've got some teacher gifts to do, and then of course, ones for myself that I want to do for my tree. So I've just been completely focusing on the smalls and the ornaments and having some fun with those. And then when I start my Christmas stitching, probably mid-October, I would think, I'll be done with fall and I'll start Christmas. I will get into my bigger Christmas pieces that I want to work on, as well as probably keeping up some of the ornaments. By that point, you know, mid-November is probably or I guess closer to the end of November, no, end of October, get my months right. I'll probably be done with ornaments because I'll be putting up my tree November? No, mid-November? I don't know. Whenever I put my tree up is probably when I'll be done doing ornaments for now. Anyhow, let's get to some stitching. All right, so the first one that I finished, was the 9 patch by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and it is the July one. I haven't put it up, but it's done at least, so June is still up there. I don't think I had a 10 left on this one to finish up, and so it finished quickly, and I did get it done by the end of the month. So it is now done. It is stitched on 25 count. It's oatmeal Lugana, I think it's oatmeal. And I think I used the call for colors. I'm pretty sure I did. They're DMC colors. So that's that one. And then this was Little House Needleworks, and here's the pattern. American, it's her first pattern. And here is the finish. I did not iron this, so I apologize. This is on 28 counts. It is coffee tea dyed, and it's like a bluish Monaco. I did not dye it that color. It's the color that I got it secondhand, I believe. And most of the colors are called for. I did change the door to a red door, and then I changed the color of the house. And the house color is, in my last video, I mentioned the colors. I don't have them right in front of me. I think it's 417, maybe 418, something like that. And the 400's just more of a grayish color that I wanted to do. I saw someone else darken the colors on Instagram, and so then I went and decided to choose my own colors and darken it. So there is the finish, and I love it. So I just have to figure out how to finish it now, and thankfully I've got till next year to figure that out because I don't know what I'm going to do about that one. So those are the 2 finishes for finishing up my Patriotic stitching. So now getting into my Christmas stitching. So Colorado Cross Stitcher is doing the cross stitch camp for this summer, and there are challenges in June, July, and August. So the challenge for July was to stitch something that you're going to finish in a different way than framing. And so most of my finishes probably could fit within that because I don't do a lot of framing. However, I wanted to do something that would be different for me. So what I am doing is I'm doing some snow globe pieces. It's a collection of snow globes that I'm going to be doing. There's 3 of them that I'll be doing, and I'm stitching each of them 3 times because 2 of them are gifts. And this one, yes, I'm going to put into a actual like little globe. And so it is going to fit in here. So Vonna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, has a finishing tutorial on her blog. And so check that out. I'll link it below as well on how to do this. And this piece is actually, this one is actually too big. So I'm gonna have to get something smaller for it when the globes come out for Christmas. And you can get these at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. I've got another one here to show you. This is how they come. So it comes in, and this one's actually from Michael's, I think, and 2 pieces, and you'll just break it apart. So you could actually do 2 ornaments off of 1. But these ones are too big for the piece, and I'll show you the teeny tiny piece that I did for cross stitch camp. Anyhow, so I've only done the first 3. I've got 2 more that I need to do that I've got to do 3 of, and so that will be on my to-do list coming up. And I forgot to take this out of the packaging. But this is Bent Creek Flurries Merry Moments, and so I'm stitched this one first, and I am going to stitch this one, and this one's smaller, so it'll go quick, and this one went quickly too. It just stitching 3 of them, you know, takes a little bit longer when you stitch it 3 times. And then I've got another one from Bent Creek that is from the snow globe mantle. I don't have the pattern in front of me that I'm going to do as well. It's one of the snow globes. So I stitched the entire piece. I actually have it here, and I can show you guys. It's sitting here next to me. I'll show that here in a minute. The snow globe mantle that Bent Creek did. And I stitched that one several years ago, and there's a snow globe that I'm going to stitch on there for this snow globe display that I am doing. Okay, so here is the 3 finishes. And these will get cut up individually. And I'll just kind of bring it in a little bit closer so you can see them. He's super tiny, and this says Noel. It's kind of hard to see because these letters are literally like a half of a stitch. So I stitched 2 over 2 on even weave, and this is like 1, not even like, so half of a stitch is how big they are. So it's kind of hard to see them. But I did change the color down here because I want all 3 of them to match, and I'll show you the big one that I'm going to do. It has this base. So I wanted the base to be a different color. And then this also calls for, I think it's like a blue around the snow globe. And so I wanted the snow globes to be white, fully white. So I did do the outside around them white as well. But everything else is what's called for. And it's stitched on mushroom Lugana, I believe. 28 count mushroom Lugana. But as you can see, and I'll put that thing down. This is going to be a little, sorry for the glare, too big, I think. So I'm probably going to get one that's a little bit smaller. That'll fit it better, I think. All right, so I will show you that big piece. I think I've shown this one in videos before. Here it is. So this is Bent Creek's snow globe mantle, and I pulled this out so that I could look at it when I was looking at the snow globes that I wanted to do. And so this is the one that I'm going to stitch, and I'm not going to do the cardinal or anything. I'm just going to do the snow globe. And so this base is brown, and so I wanted all of the bases to be the same. And so I've got a little house, I'll have Santa, and then I'll have the snowman for the little display that I'm going to do. And I will, once I get that all finished, before I gift it, I will definitely share that finish with you guys. All right, so moving on. This was a whip from last year that I did not finish, and I got it done. So this is Gingerbread Bakery by Stitching with the Housewives. And I used the called for colors, 28 count black Monaco, and there's my finish. Super cute. I don't always on the Dapper Doodads do them as ornaments, but I think this one I am going to finish as an ornament. I'm starting to run out of space for Christmas and probably fall as well, because those are the 2 seasons, or Christmas isn't a season, holiday, that I have the most stitching for. So I'm starting to run out of room for them. So as I'm stitching things, I've got to get creative on what I'm going to do. So that one's probably going to be an ornament because of that. And then I also had this one from last year that I wanted to do, but I did not have it started. And so this is Believe by Stitching with the Housewives. And if you haven't seen, I do have my Christmas display up here. I picked up some of my ornaments and pieces. So there's a Dapper Doodad there that's on a block that I finished. And that was one of the ornaments from last year, but I finished it on one of the blocks from Michael's. And then I've got 2 Prairie Schoolers. And then that one I think is another, yeah, that's Mary. So it's on the same fabric, or the tealish fabric. It's not the same fabric, but the tealish fabric for the Housewives. And then I've got a bunch of the Housewives here. And then that truck, where's that truck from? I think that's Crazy Annie's stitching from, yes, from her series, her Christmas ornaments, monthly ornaments last year. Maybe the year, it may have been 2020. And let's see, I've got these 2 Santas, or Santa and Mrs. Claus. They are from Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting. And then this is from the Christmas, it's from Just Cross Stitch Magazine by Hands On Design and Priscilla Blaine. It's the Christmas Seasons in Chalk. And I just did the Santa and did him as an ornament because I saw Priscilla did that in one of her videos many moons ago, one of their very first videos. It was in a video, Christmas tour video, I think. So those are just some of the ornaments that I picked out to put on display to be able to kind of keep in the Christmas spirit while I'm stitching Christmas. Anyhow, so here's my finish on Believe. And I had what I was stitching it on. Let me see. Because it is a different fabric. And I had a card. And of course, now I don't know where that card is. Okay. It's Picture This Plus 28 count Glacier Lugana. And that was something that was gifted to me by one of my stitchy friends. And so this is a fabric I think I'm going to use for some more of their ornaments, especially the ones from last year in this series, because it looks fantastic. So I really had fun stitching this one, and I like the fabric, and it's just super cute. So this is called 4 colors as well. All right. Moving right along. Oh, I need to move those back. I covered up my finishes. Okay. Next, so the Housewives have been doing Dapper Doodads and Tier Tray Tidbits for this month. And so I've been following along with the tidbits. The Dapper Doodads, it's just too much. I can't keep up with everything else that I wanted to do, but I've really enjoyed their series for the Tier Tray Tidbits. So the first one that they came out with was Crate of Christmas Lights. And I just absolutely loved it. One of our favorite things to do is to go look at Christmas lights, to decorate our house in Christmas lights, and the kids love it. So we go out multiple times a week during the Christmas season, go through either our neighborhood, or we'll go look at other neighborhoods just to be able to go look at the different Christmas lights displays that are out there. And we have some that are, like we've got one neighborhood that just does like how the Grinch stole Christmas, and that's how the whole neighborhood is themed, and almost everyone participates. So that's a lot of fun to go to that neighborhood. And then there's another one that does its whole huge display. It's 3 or 4 houses, but they're spaced out, and they're able to do so much with the little space that they have. And there's tons of lights, and it's just fantastic. So it's a lot of fun. And we've done drive-through Christmas lights before with the kids, and they enjoy that. And my husband absolutely loves the Christmas lights. So this one was a must stitch because of the memories that we have with going Christmas lights. So I stitched it with the called for colors. I don't think I changed anything. Oh, okay. Not called for colors. Most of them are. It calls for Tropical Paradise. And I actually used, which one did I use? Really Tealy. That's what I used. I used Really Tealy for these because the colors are super close. And I think I do have Tropical Paradise, but probably not enough to do the entire series. So that was the first one. And I'm going to skip around. The second one that they came out with was Crate of Candy Canes. So you've got Mrs. Claus there, and she's adorable. And so again, called for colors, except for I did use Really Tealy. And these will definitely be ornaments that I will finish. And I am working on the one from last week. Maybe I can get it done tonight before the next one comes out tomorrow. Next 2, I should say, because there'll be a bonus pattern tomorrow. Ooh, we'll see. Okay, the next one that I did was Primrose Cottage Stitches, Merry and Bright. This was super quick and super fun. And I picked my own colors, just what I had in a bag. I was very lazy with kitting my projects for Jolly July. So I have a couple bags that just have Christmas patterns in them and a whole bunch of floss with different colors that are Christmas. And essentially I'm just picking from that. I didn't go for called for colors necessarily. Some of them I did. You know, I've got a bag with Housewives patterns that have most of the Christmas colors that they use that are just all in there on a key ring. But I have these 3 or 4 bags next to me while I'm stitching at night. And if I don't have a color that I need for something that I'm working on, I'm just going through that bag, finding something that's close to it. So not exactly highly recommended, but that's kind of how I've done it because I just wasn't in the mood to do a whole lot of kitting, but I wanted to stitch. If I need something, I'll come in here and grab it. But other than that, I'm just going off of what I have. Anyhow, so this is, I think it's a little bit darker than the called for colors. It's just what I had. And it is on a piece of 25 count Lugana that I coffee tea dyed. I think it was just a white Lugana that I coffee tea dyed a while ago. So super simple, super cute. I like that one. And super fast. That one was really fast to stitch up. All right, so for my kids' ornaments, I have been working on those diligently because my children are very excited about them, which is great. My daughter just wants to hold her ornaments and I have to be like, okay, are your hands clean? Because you can't just hold it. Or we got to put it back in mommy's room. We can't keep it out in the living room. And she wants to just jump around with it and have a great time. But I had mentioned I was going to be, for my daughter, doing the Vintage Christmas Sampler, some of the smalls by Holt. And I started with the reindeer because she absolutely loves going to look at deer in the park. And so I thought that would be a perfect one to do for her. And then I showed her, because she wanted to know what I was doing for her. She's 2.5. But she saw I was stitching and I said, do you want to see your ornaments? And she wanted to see which ones. And so I told her I was good doing the deer for her. And then she was like, I want all of them. Okay. I said, well, pick out what you want next. And so she then picked out Santa, which he's cute. So I did both of those for her. And these are on 25 count. All right, so this one is 25 count oatmeal Lugana. The other one is 25 count coffee tea dyed that I did. And did I use called for? I don't think I used the called for. Maybe I did. Green? Maybe I did. I think it's mostly called for colors, if not all of them. The only thing I did change was in here I gave him a red little, I don't know what that's called, but I did red instead of the darker green. It's supposed to be a darker green. I don't have his button nose yet because I do not have that size button. Walmart did not have that size, so I'm gonna have to go to the store to get it. And I have not been to a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby in 2 or 3 months. It's very tragic. I'm gonna go into withdrawal soon. So next time I go, it's on my list to get that. And then here is Santa. So he also does not have, he's got a little white button that's gonna go over here on his hat. So he doesn't have him yet. But this one was quick too because it's just a lot of fill-in with the white and the beard. So once you get that outlined, it's just fill-in. And these are small, very, very small. So those are her 2 ornaments that she is super excited about. And then this one I finished last night for my son. I did make some changes. So I did, this is from Tiny Modernist, and I did Merry and Bright, but I did not do the words. So he's not gonna care about the words. And so what I did is I shortened the length of this here to where it moved everything up, but I didn't calculate it completely correctly, which is fine. So I had some extra space up there that I was just gonna do snowflakes and fill it in with snowflakes. But then I decided, well, there's room for me to do his name. So there's still room for like 1 word and I could do his name. However, all of the letters that I needed for his name were not charted out. And so I had to freehand, and it took me a very long time to do this because I didn't get out a chart, or I should have gotten out my computer and charted it. But I was, again, lazy. Just decided I'm going to just stitch and see what happens. So this is what happened. I had to pull some things out as I went along, but I think it turned out pretty good. So his name is Tristan. So the letters that I had to freehand were the N, the A, and the S, because in Merry and Bright, those letters are not there. And the other 4 charts did not have the same lettering done, so I had to kind of make it up as I went along. So that's what I came up with, and I think it turned out pretty good. It's not even, so it's not centered, I should say, so I just added in some other snowflakes, and I think that helps it with the unevenness. But I'm actually really happy with how this one turned out. And he was so excited for me to stitch it. And he was, every night, where are you out of my progress? How's my train coming? And so he has not seen the finished product yet this morning, so I will have to show him when he gets back from school. My husband took them. I had a morning meeting, so he dropped them off this morning. It is on 27 count Linda, black Linda. And I think the colors are called for. I think the only one that's not called for is this brown, because it called for 435. I could not find my 435, so I went with 436. And then I found my 435 buried in the bag after I finished it. They're close enough. It's fine. It's all right. So that is his ornament. And then he's got one more that I did. They both now have two that I have finished for them. And his next one comes from the 101 Bears with Personality book, and it is by Leisure Arts. And this book is so versatile. It's got so many different patterns and, you know, sports from, what else does it have? It's got holidays, because it's got a little Santa bear back here. Look how cute he is. I want to stitch him. It has, military, because I've done the military ones for my dad. It's got jobs, so careers and things like that. So anyhow, I stitched this one for him because, again, going with the theme of trains, and I did change up a bunch of it. So this is on a mystery fabric that I absolutely hated stitching on. I will not stitch on it again. It was one of those, you know, 1, 2, 3 Stitch used to do these mystery bundles of 28, 32 count small pieces of fabric, which are perfect for ornaments. So you just order it. It's a couple dollars. You get like 8 pieces of smalls. They don't do that anymore. And so this was just a bundle of pieces that I got. And I've got a lot of this actual fabric because it came in, there were like 8 of them, I guess. So I have no idea what it is, but I really did not like stitching on it. And I don't know why. It was just difficult. But anyhow, this is what he turned out to be. So I changed his hat. It was gray and white, and so were his overalls. I changed them to green and white. And then his shirt was blue, so I changed that to red. And then his tie was red, and so I changed his tie to black because I wanted it to go with the Christmas theme. So he's a Christmas train conductor. And he's adorable. And my son also loves this one, so he was very excited about his little train conductor. So that is him. Now, with stitching him in the same book, and let me see if I can find the picture of it rather than, so, since I can't show you the pattern, let me see if I can find you the picture of him. There he is. All right, so here is this little guy. He is called Mr. Fix-It. And as I have mentioned before, my husband is building a deck as well as putting up a fence. And now he is also doing bunk beds for the kids. So we have a 3-bedroom house, and they've each had their own rooms, but it's just working out where we really need some more playroom space for them rather than my living room being their playroom space. And with their beds in both rooms, it just, the rooms aren't super big. So we decided that we were going to either do loft beds or bunk beds. And so we're kind of doing a combination of both. I found a pattern for him to follow, and he kind of followed it sort of just for like the general idea. And then he created his own thing. And so the beds are put up in my son's room, which is going to be their room. And, the mattresses will come today, and then we've got their bedding that should be here the rest of sometime at the end of this week. Anyway, so he is Mr. Build It. So not Mr. Fix It necessarily. I mean, he does fix things too, but he is being Mr. Build It this year. So I decided that I wanted to do an ornament for him, and he teases me about how I do ornaments for other people. Okay, let's be real. Last year, I did a video for my ornament parade, which is all my ornaments that I had made that year, as well as all of the previous years, which there's a lot of them. there were several in there that were for him, that I have made him over the years of us dating and being married. There were several. To be fair, it's been several years since I've done an ornament for him, so I will say that. However, he's not without ornaments. He does have ornaments that have his name on him, that have auburn on them, things like that. Anyhow, so he's been giving me a hard time that I've been doing these for the kids and then these other gifts, and he doesn't have an ornament. So he does not know that I'm doing this particular one. I did tell him that I found an ornament for him that I was going to make. And so I started this one last night. So I will show you him again. So that's the little guy right there. So he's got his little saw, his tool belt. He's got a birdhouse, you know, but that's okay. And then his little hammer, everything in there. He's adorable. I am going to change his hat. So I'm going to do it auburn colors. And I did not have those colors last night pulled. And so I've got to pull those out. But I did get a start on him. This is on a 28 count light coffee tea dyed fabric. So I just started in on his head. So this is his ear over here, and that's his little snout. So got a teeny, teeny, tiny start on him. So I will work on that one tonight, and then probably this other one that I need to, something just fell, work on as well. Okay, so my last whip, because I've been doing pretty good finishing things as I'm going along, which is good. Before I get into my fall stitching, I'd like to try to finish up the whips, the ornament whips, and then get into fall stitching, and that way I'm not like carrying things over. Kind of my goal. So this was the Crate of Hot Cocoa by the Housewives. So this was the one that they released last week. Super cute. And this is how far I've gotten. So I've got the box outlined, or the crate outlined. So now I just need to stitch the rest of it. So I think I can get that done in the next few days. I don't know. We'll see. My goal for the rest of my stitching for this month, since that's all my stitching, is to finish up the ornaments that I've got going on. So the bear for my husband, this one, maybe we'll see how it goes. I want to finish the hot cocoa crate before I start any of the next ones that they release. But I really want to finish up by maybe Friday with whatever ornaments I'm going to stitch. I might still have one in progress, and that'll be fine. I'll carry one over, and I'll keep stitching ornaments even while I'm doing fall stitching, because I've got some gifts I still need to finish up. Still got to do the teacher gifts, things like that, and other ones that I still want to do. But I haven't done my August 9 patch yet, so I'd like to do that this weekend to be able to get that finished before August. That is the one series that I've actually kept up with, so I'm proud of myself for that. They're small, but I've actually kept up with that series this year because I'm behind on a lot of other things. And then I'm going to start in on my fall stitching. So this video I'm not going to do. I was going to, but I think I'm going to wait. My fall kitted and hopeful projects. So just maybe some enabling. I know I won't get to all of them, but I thought I would still show you all of my whips and my kitted projects and ones that I'd like to pull out maybe if I can. And so I will probably just do a separate video of that. There's plenty of them because fall is one of my favorites. So I've got tons of fall whips, tons of fall patterns, things like that. So I will just do a separate video, and maybe I'll post that in the interim before I can get my next video out. That way I have, there's something to share with you guys, but when I've got my son home and I'm not able to do a video, that way I can still put out a video that has those there. So I will probably do that and put that out there to show and share with you guys. Whatever I do have a giveaway for today. That giveaway will not be a part of that video. It will be on my next normal video. So I'll put a reminder of that too when I get to that point. I did still want to share something that I saw. So I meant to look up who it was on Instagram. She posted this pattern. So it's by Cottage Needleworks, and it is Countdown to Christmas. And what she did is she finished the houses and all the outlines, and she's going to use this as an advent calendar for Christmas. So then she'll fill in the boxes on each day of the month in December. And I thought that was a really great idea. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this done this year, but if I can, I mean, I've got time, and pull it out and work on it, I'd really like to do that, because the Pine Needles, I think, is who did it 2 years ago. They did a Christmas advent, and it was a free chart every day, and it was just a little, maybe not even 17, I don't know, it was a teeny tiny box that you stitched every day, and it had, you know, a Christmas thing to it. And so I thought that was really, really fun. And so I thought this would be fun as well, because these are teeny, teeny, tiny. And so you could definitely stitch one of those in a day, along with continuing to stitch other things. Even if you don't have a lot of time that day and you're only able to get that done because Christmas is super busy. So the fabric that I picked for this is 32 count Platinum Lugana. And so I have a ton of it. And I think everything should show. I didn't take it out of the bag. I think it should show pretty well on there. I haven't gotten the floss out and kitted it up yet. Again, lazy. I will get that one kitted. So I think I'm going to try to start that one too before I get into my actual Christmas stitching, and maybe work on that a little bit. And then as I get on to my Christmas stitching, that'll be one that I will incorporate in, because I think it's a fantastic idea. All right, so I did have some haul the last few weeks. Not much, but a little bit. So I thought I would share that. So we have our July Floss Fix Club, and it was Sunset Pink. So lots of pretty pink colors. And there's the floss. And then I also got my Color and Cotton and the July 2022 fabric. I do the Lugana 28 count 1/4 yard, and it is Haystack is the color. So another light neutral. I love the neutrals, and this is helping me to build my stash of neutral colors. And then I think I mentioned that this was coming in the mail at my last video, and it came in the next day. And so this is from Primrose Cottage Stitches, and so they have fabric bundles. And I didn't open it like I probably should have. We'll open that while I talk. And other kinds of bundles, and so you do have to kind of jump on them when they're available. But every Thursday, sorry for the crinkle, they do videos, and they tell you what's new in the shop. You also get, if you sign up for their newsletter, they have a newsletter that shares with you what's new in the shop. And so this is their gingham collection that they did, and I did not get the first round, but I loved the colors. And so when they put it back in the shop, I was like, okay, I gotta jump on it. And so I jumped on it and got the bundle. I think this is just the 1/4 yard as well. But look at those colors. They're gonna be fantastic for finishing. And I just love them. They're just unique and adorable. So I got those, and then I also got some wool, because for when I finish pillows, I want to be able to do the wool on the back of them. And so these are just some classic wool colors that they have that I think will go with most anything that I finish that I'll be able to use. So those were my orders from them. And then they also do trim bundles, which I've not been able to jump on those ones fast enough. But the trim bundles are really great as well. If I ever get one, that would be exciting. I'd be very excited. Okay, and I also got my month-to-month September club with Fat Quarter Shop. So I get the floss and the pattern. What I've decided with month-to-month, I have not touched August. I've been too busy stitching Christmas. So what I've decided is I'm going to hold off on this series until next year. So I'm going to collect all the patterns. I just know I'm not going to be able to keep up. I've pulled everything for fall that I want to work on, and there's too much. And to add in another monthly thing. I'm loving watching everyone's stitching and finishing, and everyone who's keeping up. It's amazing. I absolutely love the October pattern that they came out with. And I'm excited that, you know, I don't stitch a lot for Halloween, so I'm kind of excited that it's not a Halloween one. Just more on the fall side of things. I did stitch the Truckin' Along. I did the October one for Truckin' Along. You know, I'll do the October 9 patch. It's more of a Halloween theme. So I do have Halloween themes throughout my house. It's just that I'm not a huge Halloween stitcher. I've stitched for my sister-in-law who loves Halloween, so I've done some for her tree. But anyhow, so that's my plan for those. I'll push them off until next year, and then hopefully I can get some of them done. I may pull up August here and there because it's a whip that, you know, I now want to get done because I'm trying to get that whip list knocked down. But I'm not going to have those be like my main focus or anything right now. Just not enough hours in the day to get it all done. All right, so let's do some giveaways, and then I will share some Stitchy Kindness, and that will lead us into the giveaway for this video as well. So I did have 4 Christmas patterns that I was giving away that were brand new because I am good at duplicate buying on my patterns apparently. And so I did the random comment generator, and these are the winners. So this is Prairie Schooler, and it is Good St. Nick, and this goes to Amy Crane. So what you'll do is you will email me, and I'll put my email address below, and just send me your mailing address so that I can get this in the mail to you. All right, Amy Crane. So this is your YouTube name as well. Let's see, that's number 4. We'll go in order. Number 2 was Lizzie Kate, Unwrap the Joy 12. And this goes to Glammy B, B-E-E. So congratulations. Number 3 was 'Tis the Season Santa 07 by Lizzie Kate. This goes to Bio Boy Stitcher. Bio Boy Stitcher. And then number 4 was Lizzie Kate Jingles, Mary. And this goes to Lisa Whitaker. Lisa Whitaker. So congratulations, you guys. Just send me an email and I will get these in the mail to you. And I just dropped it. I'll pick it up here in a minute. Okay. So I did get a lovely card from AJ. And so she won a giveaway. So thank you so much, AJ, for the lovely card and the lovely words. So sweet. And then I also had a viewer reach out to me. Her name is Kelly. And she, I forgot to grab something. I think I'll grab it here in a minute. And she is a 31 consultant. And she wanted to send something to me for me, and then also for a giveaway. So this is our giveaway for today. And she sent a really cute card, and it's a turtle. I loved all of the personalized details from what she did. So I'm going to show you guys. And I was so excited, and my husband was absolutely blown away as I was opening this package. He was like, what? That's a lot. I was like, yeah, I know, it's fantastic. Okay, so this is, I'm trying to think of what she called it, a clear clip pouch, I believe that they have. And so you've got you can put your phone in here, and if you've got, you know, the smartphone, you can work on your smartphone through the plastic. And then you've got a pouch in here, so you could put a small project in there, or put floss, you know, whatever you want to do. And then also another pouch on the outside. And she personalized it, so she did Love and Stitching on here. And she also did camping because she knows I like to camp with my family, glamping and camping. And so I absolutely love it. It is just so thoughtful and adorable, and I can't wait to put it to use. I do have a trip coming up that I'm going to be taking this with me. And then she also sent a couple other things. So this is a nail file. That's a little camper. And then some purple things, because you know my favorite color is purple. So this is a magnetic bookmark. And then a key fob. That is also purple. And so she sent a pouch and a gift. I'm going to take it out of the package because I want to leave it in there. There's also a pen in there for whoever wins this. And so this is going to be the giveaway for today. And it's Patriotic gnomes and just a whole bunch of different little goodies in that bag. So this is the giveaway for today. Me and questions, you know, I'm really good about thinking about questions for giveaways. Let's see. Are you stitching? No, that's not a good one. What should we do? I've done, man, I'm really sorry, guys. I did not think this through very well. How about we have you use a word in, let's do that. You use a word in your comment, and that way there's not a question. And if you want to tell me what you're stitching, feel free, or what you've got going on, I don't know. But let's do the word gnome. Put the word gnome in your comment, because gnome is what is on this bag. So that is gnome, which is G-N-O-M-E. So gnome. So put that in your comment, and we will do it that way, since there's just one giveaway today. And so speaking of 31, I am going to put her information below as far as her link and her email if you have any questions. I did want to share, so hold on, I'm going to grab that real quick. Before project bags, or before I knew about project bags, I used a 31 bag, and I still use it, that I got from a long time ago. And so it is, I think it's for like it's a travel bag, and I've got a couple of them, so I'm going to share them with you. And so I think you can, like, I mean, you can hang it up, put it together, it clips together, and then it opens up and it's got a clear pouch here. And then you've got, so I think it's for like a makeup organizer or a travel bag or whatever. You can put your floss in here with your scissors. I've got scissors in there. I've got projects in here. So this is my Farmhouse Christmas series that I keep in here by Little House Needleworks. And this is what I use. I could even fit in my, I think it's like an 8-inch Q-snap in between here, and it fits snugly when I folded it up. So when I was using a Q-snap, it just fit right in here and kept everything together. And then I also have this one. Okay, make sure there's no patterns. So this is the same thing. It doesn't have like the makeup hooks that the other one does, but it's got 2 clear pouches that are smaller for your floss. So I've got some kitted up ornaments in this one. And so 31 has some great things that you can use for your stitching. They've got great bags just for like travel bags, things like that. So I wanted to share those in the spirit of 31 because I have had those for a very long time. And they're great to carry projects around in. So I was being a little bit more innovative with what I was doing because I didn't know that project bags were a thing until I figured that out. And I was also a monogamous stitcher at the time, so I only needed like one bag because I did not have a ton of projects, but now I have a lot more projects. I think that's everything. I didn't write notes. I kind of was just winging it today. I will try to be a little bit more prepared next time. But like I said, it will be probably 3 to 4 weeks before my next regular video. So for the giveaway, that will be, you'll have 3 to 4 weeks to comment until my next giveaway or my next video, just with my son getting ready for kindergarten and all of the August things that are going on. And so I will try to get out a video though for my fall projects that I can share with you. I can probably get that filmed this week probably before my son finishes. And that's it. So I hope you guys have a great rest of July, and then finishing or getting started into August and kind of getting closer to our fall months, which I absolutely love fall. So I'm really excited to get into those months. But I hope you guys have a great next few weeks and get some stitching in, and I will see you next time. Bye.